Good afternoon. Methodical Man here. We're here today with a backtest session. Recently dropped the 50 EMA video um, outlining the 50 EMA, the first touch on the 50 EMA. I've done this backtest before, but the last time that I did it, I did not have the kind of rules set in stone that I have now. And so I want to kind of do it again. We showed you 1 week of backtesting in the actual video and kind of outlined the rules. So we're going to go ahead and do this again, this time with the rules that we currently have. How's it going, Ruwan Ava? Ruwan Ava? So this is live. I am going to record this and post it as a video later on. But let's get into it. Yeah, Sean, this is the exact same thing. The exact same thing that we were talking about. So we can cover the rules if you guys want, but for the most part, we're looking for the first 50 EMA touch after 10 a.m., and we're only going to take the first one. We need 15 or 20 points of separation before we take the touch, and we're just looking for, a 1-to-1 type scenario here. Let me go ahead and get the template in there just in case we get the touch here. And we want to have kind of an extra confluence. We are starting from January here with a brand new account. Everyone, it's good you've been following me for a while. Thank you. Appreciate you. What's going on, Mo? London, it's 1:30 a.m. Dang. What are you doing awake? I'm going to get the order on the screen here just in case it pulls back enough to get us in here. And ooh, it bounced. And then this really is not, this is not one that I would take. This death candle here is scary, but we are tagged in. It might be a loser, might be a winner. Woo! Is that a winner? Okay, that was a winner. This is why I would not have taken this. This death candle right here I would not have taken that one. It ended up working out, but that's not one that I would have actually taken. So that is not one that we want to see. All right, let's go on to the next day. CT left those rules out when he was telling me. Oh, yeah. So basically the rules are this, Sean. We want to have, when we move back into the direction of the entry, you don't want it to be a death candle or a boner candle. It needs to be a stair step, right? The stair step's what we want to see. That's going to give us the highest probability of a win. And let's just get this template on here. And basically, you want to have a second confluence. You don't want to just take the trade blindly. So what do I mean by that? Well, you want there to be some sort of support or resistance added to it, whether it's a bearish gap, previous day high or low, initial balance high or low, whole number or half number. Those are things that might be difficult for me to kind of see while doing the back test. Obviously I can see the gaps and stuff, but previous day high and low, I'm not going to necessarily mark those things out. Sweep of higher time frame liquidity, because like sometimes on moves like this where they're really big moves, I would probably not, I may not take the trade because we may have swept some liquidity or something that was down there. So this one looks decent enough. We do have got a little fair value gap over here. So let's throw our order on here. What are we doing here? Oh, this is a long order. Duh. What's wrong with me? We're trying to take a short. Let's get the template up. Now why is that's not the right template. Where did my template go? Okay, well, let's just make it right. 10 points looks very, very small on said chart, right? Template, save as. It must be because we didn't have it up there. What up, Zabak? And then place order. Now it should work. There we go. And whether, depending upon the speed of this pullback. See, this is probably going a little faster than I might like. Okay, that's better. Okay, well, it didn't quite get to us, so that's no bueno. We'll just move this over here for now. Still just waiting on price to come back. Still hasn't. Just one of those days where it's just going down, down, down. Coming into the 11 o'clock hour here. All right, let's throw the order on there again. See if this is our oofka. So that's one of those ones where I don't know if I take the retest here. I mean, that missed us by a couple of ticks, and it already ran the target. So yeah, futures floor, we're doing a little back test. So to me, I mean, when this misses you by what, 27, the order would have been 20. I mean, 2 ticks. That's already played out. That's kind of already played out to me. So I'm going to take that order off. We'll see if it would still work. Probably it might, but to me, if it already kind of has the retest, you have to play it safe there. So there's the actual tag in, and you see it would have lost. So this is a part where kind of discretion comes in, right? So this meets the rules. We have a bearish gap. It meets the rules, but when it misses you by 2 ticks, you got to use common sense there and not take it, right? That's where discretion will kind of come into play there. I mean, it's a very simple strategy, but you also got to know when it doesn't, if it doesn't make sense to take it, then you don't take it. And see, like this one worked, but it made no sense. We don't have a direction. The EMAs aren't spread out enough. It worked, but just doesn't make sense to take. So now we got a cross here, moving lower. Let's see here, 282. I mean, it's spread out enough. We do have a bearish gap here to go along with it. So it seems, and we missed that one. Darn it. We completely missed that one. It already paid. The entry was 316.50 and it's at 306. I went 1 candle too much. So that's another one that just paid there that we just missed. You can see even the retest looks like it paid 315, 316. Yeah, well, the retest would have stopped us out the second one. So that's kind of the first touch after 10. So we'll move on to the next day. Feels bad we missed that one, but I guess I need to get the orders on there faster just in case. So, excuse me. What's everybody up to this weekend? What are you guys out there doing? They're like, man, methodical, you're back testing on a Saturday night. It is Saturday, right? 282. You're exhausted, Black Phoenix. Just got home from work, Jeff. Yeah. You gotta be in the lab sometimes, putting in the work. Putting in the work. I'm gonna go one more candle here. So do we have any extra confluences here? We do have the 50. We have the 50 number. This is your 1 Saturday per month. You're in South Africa. We have winter, so it's cold. Dang. What up, Jamie? Telling my dog to stop barking at squirrels. Aramis. Max would definitely be on board with barking at the squirrels if he saw some. Even saying the word squirrel sometimes will get him like, pumped up there. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our order on here just in case. Is that right? Yep. Just in case the next candle kind of tags us in here. We don't prefer that it does, but, you know. This is the part I hate. I hate having to do it. Okay. We'll do it like this. All right, is this where it needs to be? Right there. And then we'll place order again. All right. It's just me chasing it at this point. Trying to see when it's going to tag us in, if it is. All right, I don't want to go one more order. This is why when I back tested that 15-second, I didn't use the actual orders because of this right here. Because you have to keep doing this over and over and over. Still hasn't, that pumps up your border collie. Yeah. Max will be like, what? Squirrel? Where? I will chase it up the tree. Even though if the squirrel called him, it'd probably, you know, kick his ass. No 50 touch there. All right, let's get ready for this one if we get it. Place the order. Still no tag in. I mean, it's came close to the 50 a couple times here, but no dice. We're certainly looking like we're going along with the trend on this day. Certainly appears that the trend is down. All right, there's the tag in. Ooh, we lost. And then it went, oof. Just barely ticked us out there. Barely ticked us out. That's an annoying one. The only thing I will say about this one, we do have a bearish gap here. I mean, this barely ticked us out. If we might have got tagged in there, but even if we did, it still wouldn't have worked. Oh, guys, I just noticed something. I'm an idiot. God dang it. This is 7 o'clock at night. I had already went through the entire day and didn't even realize it. I took that trade at 7 o'clock at night. All right. My bad. Thanks, Aramis. Appreciate you. 7 o'clock at night. Oops. That certainly doesn't meet the rules. But it could be part of the reason why it lost, I guess. Oof. All right, what do we got here? So here we have a bearish gap. We have the whole number, 21,000. So even though we're kind of pushing back up to this pretty strong, I will take this one. Template. I guess we'll just keep that in the back of our mind that that one loss there was, you know, tagged in. Boom! Quick and easy. It literally helped me out. It did, for real. It did. So I think that's 2 wins and 1 loss so far. Of course, the 1 loss was, unfortunately, like I said, at 7 o'clock at night. Oops. That's the backtester's fault, not the strategy's fault. And it almost was a winner. It was 1 tick away from being a winner there. one tick away from being a winner. All right, what's the spread here? 790. Okay. I actually kind of like this one. Ooh, that is kind of a death candle. There's not a kind of clear trend here yet. 817 down to 786. But what I do like about this, we have the protection of the whole number. We do have a small gap here. So I do think this is one that I probably would take, even though, to be honest, we have not really established a trend here yet. So if this loses, this is one of those ones where I would say that, you know, it's maybe 50-50 whether you accept the risk to take this one or not. With me having the protection of the whole number, I think that it's worth giving a shot. Now, I do think if it bounces here off 800 before it tags me in, then I wouldn't like it. All right, we're in. Oof, and we're out. And see, that's one of those ones where you have like two confluences, and it's still got us. Still got us. Now, here's the only thing about that. I mean, if we zoom out, you know, we did kind of run buy side there. Let's see. Yeah, that's the overnight high. So that is one of the things that I do try to look for. Like, did we sweep liquidity to the direction there that we're trying to go? But making no excuses right now. It's you know, it's 2 and 2. We move on. We move on. So we are after 10 here. What is the spread? 21,000, 46. Yeah, we got decent enough spacing there. So we'll look for the short position here. The short position. Man, it's so funny how tight, how small this looks. Like when you're taking it on the back test, like it looks so small. Like the stop is so small. The take profit is so small. Tagged in. And loser. Loser, loser. Do we have any extra confluences here? We have a small gap here. I mean, like, yeah. We have the 50 number there too. We just didn't respect it. Just went right through it. I don't know. Thanks, Futures Floor. Smash the like button. I think the last time we did this, the back test didn't go all that well either. I think it was like a losing back test, if I remember. So, I don't know. I like these plays in real time, but maybe I'm just not as good at back testing them. I know that we did miss one winner, and then we had the one loser, but that we could have done without. I do remember. Here's one thing about this. Yeah, you can ask questions, Ruan. One thing I do remember is I'm starting in January, and I do remember having to spread. I had to go to micros because I had to widen my stops because of the volatility. Because, you know, Trump's market took over. And that's not an excuse. That's just the truth, right? We were having 50.1 minute candles. So that might, now that I think about it, have a bearing on this back test. Because I did start this January the 3rd. Do you size up when having a losing trade? No. No. I mean, have I before? Sure. Is that what you should do? No. If anything, you should size down. Size it down. Tagged in, tagged out. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Let's see this one. This could come into play here. We may have to make our stop a little bigger. I'm not going to take this one. This volatility here is too much. I mean, look how big these candles are. 367. I mean, that's 40.1 minute candle. Looks like it would have worked. Maybe 415. Yeah, see, you still would have been stopped out even on that one. I just remember the volatility that we had was insane. All right, I'm going to go one more candle on this. You don't really have anything extra here. It's just kind of a naked 50. I don't know. I don't love this one, but that being said, I think it might work. We'll see. Again, if we start getting loss after loss and it's just barely by anything, then we may have to adjust our stop loss for this. Oof. Yeah, that's just death. These candles are so huge. Next day. The only downside with backtesting with FX replay is hard to get the feel for the movement. Yeah. For sure. I'm definitely dialed in. And I mean, I'm not very good at backtesting to begin with, unless I'm just like, you know, kind of the hindsight backtesting where you're seeing price after it happens. I just remember that like early on, after Trump came into office, the market was so volatile. The 1 minute, the ATR was super high. So that might affect this here backtest. With us using such a tight stop, you know. Because the spread is great. The spread on these this is great. But see, like, here's the thing. This is what I talk about. Like, you want to see stair step back to the 50. You don't really want red candle, red candle, red candle. I mean, we're not trying to knife catch here. We're trying to catch a bounce. So this here is really, it's just a naked 50 touch. Doesn't have a whole number. There's no fair value gap. And so I'm not going to take it. Pulled back to 585, 592. So, of course, you know, I don't take it and it works. but that's just how it goes. Next day. Oh, goodness. Nice big push up here. I mean, technically that's your first touch, but that's before 10. So we don't count it. Before 10 a.m., not counting it. Do we have a data wick down below there? Looks like we do. This looks like a news wick down here. A news wick, 96 to 18. So if we get a push back up here, we could take this one. All right, we'll go ahead and put the order on. Woo, just dumpage. Just dumpage. And see how fast that's moving back up? Like, oh, I don't like that. What do we have here? Do we have anything other than, I mean, we only got the 90. All we have is the 90 protection. That was probably going to be the tag in there. Yeah, we missed that one. I didn't move it down. I hate that. Oh well, we missed it. What up, Pine Tree? Profit or loss is irrelevant. Watching your strategy is gold. Yeah, right. I mean, the thing is, you still want it to be a winner, right? You want to be at a winner, a winning strategy. I mean, I know that it's a winning strategy, but whether or not the stop loss is going to be sufficient enough at this time of the market will really be the question. All right. I'll go ahead and take this one. Looks okay. We got the protection of a fair value gap. We got, you know, a couple of things there. So we'll take this one, see how she goes. I really need to do better at moving it down as it's needed. I mean, look at that momentum coming back up there. Like, I hate that. That's too fast to me. The only way I'm going to take this is if we get a red candle before this hits this gap, or before it hits there. Yeah, see, like, no red candle, so I wouldn't even take that one. And of course it would work. Watching some banana ball. Use code MM for Take Profit Trader. That's right, we need it, man. We still need like 21 cells or something like that to get our bonus. So that's two that we didn't take discretionarily. We didn't take them. 2 or 3 that would have been winning. But it didn't have anything else going for it. It was just a naked touch. And like, look at this momentum. Look at this momentum. And what else did we do here? We actually inversed this gap on the way back up. So that's like a super scary one. Even though it worked, I would never take that one. And I mean, that's going to happen sometimes, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. Let me look left here. I mean, we're just pushing up. Definitely bullish here. Just going to the moon. These candles are huge. Huge, I tell you. I mean, like, this one's interesting because it is at the whole number. Although the last couple that we've taken at the whole number have just lost. They didn't work. Well, we'll try it. Let's move it up. Moving on up. Oof. Now that was perfect right there. You trade one candle trade binary options that way. So basically, Chad, what we're doing here is a 50 EMA cross. We're just taking a 50 EMA touch. So 1 minute, we want to see a cross after 10 a.m. And we just want to take the first touch of the 50 EMA, which is this white line. That's all we're doing. Keep it simple. So far, the back test is 50-50. However, one loss was at 7 p.m. at night. I shouldn't have been taking a trade there. And then I have skipped over a couple of wins just using my discretion, which that's okay because I probably skipped over a couple of losses using my discretion as well. So you can't say one without the other, right? Well, technically, that's the first touch, and we got a huge reaction. The reason I would not take that one is because it's just the trend's not really established as being down yet. So I would skip that. I'd skip that one. You see how the trend's just still going sideways? So I'm okay with that one playing out without us. Now here, we're above these highs. We've broken out of the range, right? We broke out of the opening range to the upside. So now I would be interested in taking a long. If we get stair steps back to it. We don't want it to be just a flash dump. We want it to be stair steps. Oh. Yeah, see, I mean, that's a dump. I still wouldn't even take that. 21, yeah, that would be instant stop out. So that would be one I would not take anyway. Because it's just a dump. I mean, we got death candles right here. I mean, this candle right here is, it's 25-point death candle there. Now, one thing I have kind of been looking at is when you get the bounce through, if you get the trade back through, you could mark it in on the trade back through. Obviously, I'm not doing that in this back test, but that is another way that you could play it. You could. Again, we have a cross here. Kind of got a little trend up here, but, I mean, let's see, is there anything going along with this other than just, not really. We do have the 50, the psych level there, but it already bounced off that. So again, this is one that I'm not going to take. Now, it probably works, but it's one I'm not taking. And you can see it doesn't work. So this is where discretion has to come into play. Again, sometimes discretion is going to cost you a trade. Sometimes it's not. You got to be willing to take both. You got to take the good with the bad there. A lot of times it matters hugely how we come back to this level. That's a pretty strong candle up there. What is that? 20 points. We do have a small gap there. Let's see what the next candle looks like. Okay. All right, since that next candle looks okay, I'll try this one. Now, the only thing I would say about this one, does it really have anything other than the 50 MA going for it? Not really. We're not at a psych level. We don't have any kind of bearish gap here. I guess there might be like a 2-minute here. So it really doesn't have much going for it other than the EMA. And you really do want to have more than one thing to give it the highest of probabilities. All right, we are tagged in there, I think. Did we get tagged in there? Or did that miss us? I guess that missed us. So you can see this is a skill issue on my part for the back testing. I should have moved the order down because the 50 MA is there. It clearly touches it and moved it down a little. So, like it clearly touched it there. 0 drawdown trade that we're missing. So that's like 3 of them that I fumbled so far, but that's all right. We'll keep going. Would have been a win. That's right. Dang it. God dang it. That sorry ass back tester. What's wrong with him? All he's got to do is put the order on. That's all he's got to do. How stupid can he be? How much of a dodo can he be? All right, I'm going to say something about this one. Where's the famous VWAP? We don't need it here, Alfred. But I could put it on here, I guess. Yeah, I guess you're right, Alfred. I probably should have the VWAP on here. I will say something about this. Oops, I think I may have added it more than once. Did I? VWAP. We definitely don't need the VWAP to be that color. We'll go with a dark green VWAP. How about that? I don't even know where it is at this point. But one thing I'll say about this one, you can look at an order to an EMA and it'll follow it automatically. Really, Jamie? I didn't know that. I did not know that, Jamie. That's interesting. But what I will say about this one is you got to kind of be logical with your stop here. Where's my order, my template? Because look at this. What are we at? We're right here at the 50 psych level. So do I really want my stop to be at 42? Do I really want to take this entry at 53? No, so this is a scenario where I will pull the entry down to 50 because I think it makes a lot more sense to have your stop at 40 than it does at 42 in this scenario. So I'm going to move my entry below the 50 here. because I think we're going to hit that 50 EMA anyway, or the 50 number anyway. Well, of course, price just moves away from it, but this will be a scenario where I probably move the entry lower. All right, let's see here. Is this? So now it's moved up. We do have a bearish gap or a bullish gap there. All right, we'll put the order on. Oh, I got it. Why don't I have it so high? Should be right there. Tagged in, tagged out. Now, I wouldn't be shocked here if this one bounces off this level here. It did too. You see how it bounced right off 50? Went from 50 back up to 70. That would have been the... That's the thing, though. Like, if you're taking the 50 EMA bounce and it moved that far away from it, there's nothing you can do about that there. You just have to take it as it goes. Place a limit order, then pull it to the EMA while holding control, and it gives you an option to attach. That's interesting. The only thing about it is you know, if it moves with too much speed, like as far as like if I don't like the speed, I guess you could wait for it. Like if you're trailing it and you're like, okay, I like it, then it would make sense. This thing's just ripping off the screen here. Oof. All right, so kind of a similar spot here. This time with the whole number, though. Similar spot. Let's get the order on. Place order. Boom. Let's run it. Hate when it does that. It literally came like a couple of ticks away from the order and then just bounced. Bounced off the whole number there. I'll be completely honest. I don't love this one, but we're going to take it anyway. See how it's like already bouncing like right before the 50? It's kind of annoying. Did the same thing there. Just keeps bouncing right before he gets to it. Right before he gets to the entry. Alright, let's move this up. We don't want this to happen like it did earlier. Miss us by a tick. We don't want to be a dick for a tick on our entry, I guess. There we go. Beautiful. Stop loss 10 points, John. If it starts moving too fast, yeah. 10 points. That's the thing, John. It's very tight stop loss here. Very tight take profit. You're looking for 10 for 10. 10 risk, 10 reward. I mean, like, you can play around with it. In my back testing, me looking at it, the average win is 14 points. So taking it out to 15 seems unreasonable to me. So that's why I don't do that. But, you know, you could play with it and make it your own. You could certainly do that. Play with the stop losses. Play with the targets, make it your own type deal. These are just things that I've came up with. Certainly doesn't mean that they're the best. Okay, we got a bearish gap. We got 550 psych level. And just, come on. Did we get, I don't know if that one was a winner or a loser, because this candle, it happened so fast, I can't rewind it. to know. I think it was a stop out, but I'm not sure. Because did it tag us in here and then hit the target and then go up? I don't know. I think it did. I think that was a winner. I'm not sure. Yeah, Jim, that's right. NinjaTrader lets you attach your trade. Yeah, John, that's what Jamie was talking about. If you play with it too much, it falls off. Never heard that. Where'd you learn that from? Who told you that? Who lost theirs? Who lost theirs? That's what I want to know. So this one's touching the 50 right at 10, but, you know, we're not going to take it before 10, obviously. And here's the thing. It did bounce off the 21. The trend's not really down yet, but I do like if we move away from it like that one more time and then come back up. Man, these are awfully bullish candles. Awfully bullish candles, but we are in a bearish gap, so we'll give it the old college try. It is comical how small the stop loss is, though. I mean, look at that. That is kind of comical, because look how big these candles are. That's what makes it difficult. You guys seen that that video where it's like the dad's like, son, if you do that too much, it'll make you go blind. And he's like, Dad, I'm over here. He's looking at the wrong side of the room. He's like, oh, sorry, son. Let's go. We'll throw the order on there just in case. Probably need to adjust it, but okay, so we're in and out already there. In and out already. So that last one probably was a winner. I couldn't tell because it moved so fast. All right, this one's already kind of set up for us. Cross here, already grinding higher. By the way, I'm starting this test at 10 a.m. every morning. This is when we are starting. You're to the point where you shave your palms every other day. Oh, guys. You guys. All right, let's check her out. This has a bullish gap going with it. Looks okay. Would have probably preferred to have gotten tagged in back there, but beggars can't be choosers, or so I've been told. Now, I don't know. I really shouldn't put this candle on, or this on yet, because if this next candle is huge, I don't really want to be in it. Dude. Did I miss that one too? I mean, I know, you know, it didn't technically touch it to the tick, but man, that's so close. That is so close right there. Looks like it would have missed it by... Where's the low of that? Oh, I guess it doesn't show it. 93.75. No, I guess it still would have been about 3 ticks off. So I would not take the retest of this now. Now that it came that close, I would not take the retest. Let's see how it would have played out if you would have taken the next test. Because I consider that a touch, even though it wouldn't have taken us with it. So I would not take this one. Let's see how it would have played out. I'll throw the order up here, but we're not going to take it. And loss. See? All you need is volume profile. Yeah. Barbecue ribs says we only need barbecue ribs or volume profile. I don't trade volume profile, but I don't hate on people who trade other strategies, because at the end of the day, there's 1,000 different ways to win at trading, and volume profile is certainly one of them. So put volume profile with it. If I knew anything about it, we'd be cooking with gas right there, but I don't. I've never looked into it, barbecue ribs, but I do know people have success with it. So there's a 50 touch. This isn't spread out enough for me, though. So I'm not even going to count it. Obviously, that's a huge dildo boner candle. We're not taking that one. Oh. Yeah, it would have ruined. But the problem is, we're just not spread out enough here. And that's the thing. You're going to miss sometimes like that. That's just how it is. You're going to miss some. The thing is, like, when I'm trading intraday, like, I feel in tune with how I think the market is moving and how it's going to react to certain levels. I don't get that same feeling in backtesting, so it's a little more difficult for me. In backtesting, it's harder to avoid some of the losers that I probably would avoid during the day, because, you just have a feel for kind of what price is going to do, right? So we're kind of bottom of the range here. We do have a gap there, so we'll see. These are kind of, this is a big candle. You know what? This is like a 40-point candle. Let's see, 425. Yeah, so I'm going to leave this off because I'm going to need to see a couple of bounce candles here. Yeah, see how I would avoid this loss? This is a trade, like, recognizing that this is a 40.1 minute candle. That's too fast moving back towards this EMA. We would have needed to see a couple of little bounce candles. Again, one of the things of this strategy is the speed, the momentum of the candle. So it's a discretionary thing that you got to pay attention to. So, yeah, exactly, Jamie. I'm following a higher time frame, and we have the ES. Yeah. So you may have the support. You may be at support or resistance on the ES, which is, could cause a bounce as well. And also here I'm not using initial balance high, initial balance low, opening range, previous day high, previous day low. I could probably get those put on here, but I'm not trying to build a whole chart here. Just trying to keep it simple. And then, like, barbecue ribs, like he suggested the volume profile. I do think, like, I'm not against volume profile at all. I do think that it is a good confluence no matter what you're trading. However, I just have not really looked into it to know a lot about it. There we go. One more candle. Okay, so this, let's see, do we have anything other than just a naked EMA? So we do have a couple of small gaps over here. We are kind of bottom of the range if we got a little idiot box going on here. So I do think it looks okay. You got a little idiot box going on there. Bottom of the range-ish. The most recent range. So we'll give it a try. We'll give it the old college try if it gets us in here. Come on. I gotta get to moving these orders, because this is probably just going to bounce here on this next candle, and we are going to be left out in the cold on this trade, which would be the third one. Yep. Darn it. I got to get it together, guys. I'm sorry. That's the third trade that I missed by not moving the order. So, my bad, guys. That's all I'm saying, guys. I'm not the best back tester. I really am not. I try my best, but I'm just not. This is like, there's something to it for me doing it manually, old school, and writing it down myself. See, that's a 50 touch that worked, but like I never take that when we haven't established a trend. How wide is this already? 60 to 86 is kind of at like a minimum level right now for a trade. The idea is, if you're taking a 50 bounce, you need there to be enough room between the 50 and the 21 to give you your profit. I don't want to be looking for 10 points and having to get back through the 21 to get it. You see what I'm saying? So when I say these needs to be spread out, they need to be spread out enough to give you your profit once it touches the 50. So right now, it's kind of at the minimum, right? The minimum spread that it needs to be in order for you to be able to get your points here, which is, you know, it's not ideal, but what do we have going for us here? We have a bullish gap here. Really, that's about it. But price seems to be moving okay. You see what happened there? And this happens not a lot, but sometimes. Again, I mean, it came down to 69. We're looking to get tagged in at 68.50. So it missed us by 2 ticks and already ran the profit. So I'm not interested in taking another retest here. Very often when it misses you by that little, the retest fails. So I'm not interested in a retest there. I consider that the first touch. We'll play it out and see how it would have played out. So see the next touch, what would have happened? Boom, loss. So that's one of those days where your discretion comes into play. You don't take it, and you don't take the next one either. Again, here, this already touched at 10 o'clock, but I'm not interested in taking it before 10. It would have worked, but I'm still not interested in taking it before 10. There's a reason the volatility is just too high. Also, more often than not, so here's your first touch. Now, this is a death candle, so it's one I wouldn't take. Also, more often than not, what happens at 10 a.m.? You get that reversal. So, wow, look at this price action this day. Insane. Kind of trending down now. But again, let's see. 75, 80. You see, you're going to fight. You would have to fight the 20. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You got to fight the 21 to get your profit here. So I'm not going to take it. So there's the tag in. And it would have worked. But again, why do I want to fight the 21 EMA to get my profit there? Like, I don't want to. So I think this day is just going to be a no trade day. I don't like the price action. It's too volatile. EMAs are not going to work during high volatility. If you didn't know that, they don't work that well during high volatility. So obviously there was news there at 10 a.m. that's causing us to go lower. EMAs are spread out nicely here. Okay. So, we're not necessarily in a gap, but I do like that we kind of have the protection of the whole number here. I have noticed, though, that using the whole number as protection has not worked as well as you might think it would. So, we'll just keep that in mind here. Dun, 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 dun. Because see, like right here, we're entering at 91 and we have our stop. Is that right? Yeah, stop at 801. I don't necessarily love that. Oof. See how close it came to our stop right there? So it ended up working, but man, that was a butt clincher. As price moves down to the 50, the 50 is rising. It's too risky to anticipate the 50 rising a couple more ticks to the next candle. Similar to front run. You can, but the problem with that, Jim, is like you can front run it by, say, 1 point if you wanted to. And that's going to save you sometimes. That's going to get you in on some missed trades. But it's also going to reduce your stop by 1 point. So maybe you go for 11 for 11 in that scenario. Might be the safest thing to do. 11 point stop, 11 point take profit to kind of compensate there. Maybe that could be a thing. The 10-point stop in my back testing is very, that's more than 10 points. More often than not, it just runs away. It keeps going. That's what I found in kind of like my manual back testing. That's how I came up with the 10-point stop. Also, it does keep it at a 1-to-1, which is nice. All right. What do we got here? We're in a bullish gap. This is another scenario where, like, I would not be surprised if this thing doesn't push down to the 40. You kind of got some consolidation here. You got a couple of wicks down to the 40 already. Here's the thing. The 50 has already been tested once. So I will say that I don't think the 50 is going to give us much protection in this scenario. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of protection. So you just have to decide in this scenario whether it's worth taking or not. I think it probably is. We'll see. Let's go ahead and move it up. I don't want to miss this one by a tick or two. Man, I just know I've had that happen too many times tonight. Three times already where I didn't move it up, even though it's only a few ticks, and it ends up costing us the win. So, all right, let's move it up. Because if it doesn't tag us in here, then we probably won't try this one again. It's too close. Yeah. So I didn't tag us in there. I mean, it came, again, that's kind of what Jim was talking about right there. That came like less than a point away from our tag in, and it's already at the take profit. So now it's too risky for us to take. Even though it would have played out. It did end up playing out on that next actual test. But in my opinion, that's too risky to take once it misses you by that little bit. More often than not, when it misses you like that, it just ends up being a loser. Or it doesn't come back at all. Type deal. Oof, look at that one. Check that one out, guys. So, again, whether or not I would have taken that one is questionable. It was right at 10 a.m., depending upon whether we had news that day. Probably that is a news candle, if I had to guess. I don't know. How big is it? 760 to 820. Yeah, I mean, that's a 60.1 minute candle. That had to be news, but it bounced right off of it. So I'm not going to count that as a play because it does appear to be news. There's an actual touch. But again, I don't love it because we don't really, I mean, I guess we are up, trending up, but still. I think I probably would skip that one. I want to see another cross before I consider a trade on this day. Look at that. Paid again. All right, now we got a cross. Now we can consider a play. If we can get a setup that makes sense. We're in lunchtime now, so we're getting kind of a lunchtime reversal going on. Now, if you notice, most of my plays are like earlier in the morning there. 10 to 11. That's when most of the plays kind of set up, or not. You can take these plays later in the day if you're so inclined. That's up to you. I think Friday it was like 3 for 4 or 4 for 4 or something like that. I'm not taking this one. I'm not going to take one this day, I can tell you now. I just don't like the way that... I didn't like the way it looked. Would we have been stopped out? 778. Yep. I didn't like the way that was. Too much momentum coming back towards it there. So that one I probably would have just no trade day. Now we have an obvious data wick up here. That huge candle there from 8:30. It's going to be an obvious data wick. So we're already kind of setting up for a long here. As long as this is not a like death candle back to it. Which it kind of is. How big is this candle? 81. Yeah, I mean, that's a 35-point candle. I wouldn't take this one. I mean, even though I think we're bullish, and I think this one might work. Let's see if we can get a couple of green candles in here before it hits it. Nope. There's the direct touch. And just pushed right through it. How many points, though? 628 down to 609. Yeah, so 20 points. See what I'm saying? Like, this is where you can use discretion to kind of eliminate some of these losses. I do think the bias is bullish because of this data wick over there. See if we can get a grinder back towards it. We'll take it. Okay. Yeah, this looks okay here. We got a bullish cap. We're kind of like at the whole number here. We've pushed above it, pulled back below it. So this one looks okay to me for a stab. Also, if you look right here, you got a wick. Maybe it sweeps that wick, kind of grabs a little liquidity and then goes. We'll see. Boom! Just like that. And that's the reaction we want. We want it to be that fast. Boom. Hit it, go. Hit it and go. And we're done with that day. Now, you know, this is not a mechanical strategy. You know, even though, like, I say that, like, this is, like, the easiest strategy ever, right? But it's not, it's far from mechanical. You still need some discretion. You can't, you know, like right here, we got a 32-point candle. Am I really going to take this when it's moving that fast? No. You see what I'm saying? So look, does it bounce at the 50? Yeah, it does. But not after wicking 20 points through it. Now in this scenario, sometimes, like I said, I've seen where if it wicks through it and then recovers it, you could mark it in there and long. You know, because that's a very bullish sign. But, you know, that's not the way I play it. So you can see if you did mark it in there, it's paying. But I just, it's not something I could do. It's just moving too fast there. Now, we didn't have another cross either. So technically, I mean... yeah, it'd be difficult for me to take a long here without another cross. So I'm going to run it and see if we get another cross. But if we don't by about lunchtime, I'll probably just, this would be just a no trade day. All right. So coming into lunchtime, again, it has not spread out enough yet. So that first touch, even though that was a winner, that's not the spread that we want. At least I don't think. How far was that? Maybe I missed it. 998. I mean, that's borderline, I guess. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have taken that one because it wasn't 10 points between the 50 and the 21. So that one doesn't count. A lot of momentum back up here. Going to need to see a green candle or a red candle or two. Didn't get one. There's the tag in. Would you be stopped? 92, 98, 6 points. So you would not have been stopped and it would have worked, but that's just too much momentum there. I guess we did have a bearish gap here. We do have the protection of the whole number. I don't know. That's one in lifetime. Maybe I take, maybe I don't. It would probably depend on largely, like, you know, my thought process on where I think the market's going. But in the back testing, not having a super good feel for where the market's going there, I would not take it. Man, such a choppy open here. Such a choppy open. We do have a data wick down here. Let me mark that out. Right there. So I do think that's the draw on liquidity. So if we get a pullback into here, I'm not taking it. You can see I not taking that saved me a win, saved me a loss there. Just being able to see that, hey, we have a pretty clear draw down there. At least I think that's the draw. All right, so this is another scenario where I think the draw is lower, but the 21 and the 50 are too close to each other. So I'm not going to take that. And we're just chopping. This is a range day here. All right, coming into the lunchtime, can we get a clear 50 play here? A clean 50 play. Again, 21 and 50 are too close. It would have failed again. No, I guess technically not. $21 and 50 are 132. I mean, they're a point apart. What up, Mike? Mike, right now I'm back testing a 50 EMA touch. So basically you got the 21 to 9 and the 50. You look for a cross of the you look for a cross of the EMAs, and then you want to get the first touch of the 50 for your entry with a 10-point risk, 10-point take profit. But it needs to have a little extra, it needs to have confluence with it, and one extra thing, either a whole number, a half number, something like that, or a bearish or a bullish gap to kind of support it. Can't just be a, you know, a naked 50 touch there. Very, very choppy day here. Like, none of this looks good to me. All right, I'm on to the next day. And this is just one of the strategies that I use. Obviously, I take inversions. All right, so here is kind of interesting. We do already have kind of a downtrend set up here. Let's look to the left, though. I mean, we've already ran. We do have this wick down here, so I do think we could move lower. Max is whimpering. We may have to wrap this up soon. He may have to go outside for a potty break. All right, let's think about this one. It does have a bearish gap there. It has a couple things going for it here. I guess we'll try it. I'm not a huge fan of this kind of chop in there. I wish it was a little bit higher. Maybe up in here would make more sense, maybe, but we'll try it. All right. I think we should have been tagged in there. It probably would have already been tagged out. So I'm going to take the order off. There we would have been tagged in. Yeah, I mean, I think technically that would have been a winner from here. Let's see, where's that at? 219. Ooh, actually, you know what? That would not have been a winner either way. But missing us by that much would have kept us out of that trade. TikTok Captain Price is here. He's here. How long is this video so far? An hour and 10 minutes. Big fast dips get reversed. Yeah, I mean, I agree. And that's kind of what the 50 EMA type of play is. You're looking for kind of like a sniper entry, right? But, so here we kind of have a clear downtrend. Now this 50 touch would make a lot of sense if we got it here. As long as we're just stair stepping towards it and not just going crazy. So we're kind of right here. We're putting in lower highs, lower lows. So I do like that. We'll take this one here. See if we can't get in on this. Throw our order on the screen. And of course, it just moves away from it. All right, let's try it again. Place order. Boom, boom. Why you do me like that? Why you gotta do me like that? Make me work extra hard. Oh, still miss me. I'm gonna keep moving it because I don't want to miss the play. I've already missed a couple of them like that. I need that EMA trail thing that you guys were talking about. That EMA trailer. We need to put that on here. We're in. We're out. We lost. Perfect. What up? Yamiel, how's it going? Thanks for the stream. You're taking off. All right, we'll see you next time. Stacks, New York. Yeah, you can give me a strategy to try. If you want to post it in the Discord, that would probably be best. Discord's somewhere in the chat there. Somewhere in the chat. All right, let's look at the stats right quick. Let's check out the old statics. The statistics. Statistics. So, what do we do? It says that we had a 60% win rate on this, which for a 1-to-1, that's profitable, right? Now, let's keep in mind, bear in mind, I did take one loss that I should not have taken. It was at 7 o'clock at night, and then I took, I passed on 3 winners, so that could clean it up a bit. What was the maximum streak? How many losses in a row did we have? So what is this? Does it show the streaks and stuff? I would think that it would. Analytics. Session analytics. Here we go. So 60% win rate, 15% total trade, or 9 wins, 6 losses. So technically it should have been 12 wins, 5 losses. That's all right. Every day mark the first 5-minute opening range of New York and the 3 p.m. Next is buy above VWAP break, sell below. You like the 21 EMA on the tick chart, Yamil? Let's go. You don't just adjust the target. No, Jim, I don't. Maybe I should. So my R was 1-to-1. Max R, our ideal average R, 5.53. Max 7.03. 9 winners. Consecutive wins, 5. Consecutive losses, 2. So average consecutive losses, 1.2, 1.8. Really not enough data here to kind of draw a conclusion, right? Not enough data to draw a conclusion. Obviously, you can look here. Monday, 2 losers, 1 winner. 2 losers, 1 winner on Tuesday. Wednesday, 100%. No losers on, maybe just take the trade only on Wednesday. Only on Wednesday. So these are the, this is the month's stats. So we started in January. Like I said, I think this is, you know, if you remember, January was very, very volatile. Very volatile. So, you know, I don't know. I think we did okay. I think we did all right. So if it's saying 60%, 9 out of 15, technically we missed 3 wins. That would be 12, and we really should have subtracted at least 1 loss. So it should be 12 out of 17, really, which is a better rate. And that's not me trying to, like, you know, I mean, you guys saw it. It's not me trying to say, like, oh, but I didn't move the stop. I didn't move the entry when I should have. So that puts it at 70% during this back test, which is a much more, I mean, that makes a lot more sense. That's probably about what I would expect it to run, somewhere around 7 out of 10. So anyways, stacks. Hey man, put it down in the put it in the Discord. Put it in the Discord. I'm not gonna be able to read it here. The link to the Discord's in the description of the video, also in the chat here. But that's going to do it for me. If you guys want to help support the channel, guys, I need 21 more sales for Take Profit Trader to hit the bonus. Use code MM. We do appreciate it. And we do stream live Monday through Friday, 9:15 to usually 11:30 or 12. If you want to see this trade traded live, I take the trade every single day. And we also do a few other things in there that, you know, maybe you'll get to see. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.